Hey guys, good morning. It's about 9 o'clock here, and I just woke up Sunday, so it's usually the day that I sleep in a little bit more. And I was like, so you're getting a very like raw Amos this morning. But I wanted to film before I went and did stuff today, because I knew I would not later, and I would forget about it, and I want to stay on schedule. So this week I posted a blog about a body image roundtable that I wanted to do, and I did it via email with two friends of mine. One, Kate Moore, who is a personal trainer and owner of Get Fit 615 in Nashville, and my friend Erin, who is a registered dietitian also in Nashville. And I figured the first roundtable I would start with not only friends, but people who are professionals in the health industry, just to get to see how they view their own body image, and also like how they view people that body image in relationship to how they work with other people. And it was a really good discussion. They answered questions, like gave some phenomenal answers that, I mean, really made me think about myself and my own body image, and also like how I work with my own clients, and how I think about body image as it's changed today, and the media absorption that we have today that we didn't have, 20 years ago when I was just starting my teens. So I'm really happy with how that went, and I'm looking forward to doing more of those. I definitely want to talk to my friends who are moms and how their body image has changed due to motherhood, and especially my friends who have daughters, like how that has changed how they think about body image. I have a lot of ideas. I want to talk to a lot of my other friends who are in the mental health field and who work with clients, specifically like eating disorders, and working within the adolescent population and the early 20s, um, because I feel, even though body image I think spans your lifetime, I think definitely now people who are more involved in getting more outside feedback, um, it changes a lot about how they feel about themselves and how they feel about the way they present themselves to the world. Um, but today I also want to be a little bit more vulnerable in this video and kind of talk about, even though in the blog entry I answer the questions too. And I'll do that at each roundtable because I'm going to ask different questions as we go on. But I definitely want to kind of talk about this process that I'm going through as my body image changes, how it's changed over the years, and all of that, and kind of like work that out with you. So my body image, like I never really knew that it was called body image until like I was much older. Maybe because I just never heard that talked about. I don't know any woman in my life who's had like a high body image, or a good body image, or however you want to say it, high confidence when it comes to their body. I've never heard a woman in my life refer to herself as beautiful or think of herself as beautiful. There's always been like, my thighs are too big, my butt's too big, or I, wish I had a flat stomach, or blah, blah, blah. It was always a matter of improvement. It was never about, well, I like this about myself, or I think I look good in this, or I look good in that. And so that's how I grew up. That's how I grew up thinking that that's how you're supposed to think about yourself. And I'd always been like a bigger kid, but like not fat kid. I was more like, my body build was just always like more, or stronger and bigger. And so it wasn't until I was like 13, 14 years old that I actually started to become like overweight. And I mean, I got really big, and a lot of it had to do with my mental health, dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety and some really bad thoughts that we'll talk about in another video, not today. But the only way I knew how to deal with that was to eat. I'm not very good at communicating how I feel about stuff, or talking about my emotions, and which is funny because I'm a therapist and I encourage people to do that. But for me, it's just always been, I'm an internal processor. And so when I was younger, I just wasn't very healthy about it. And so through all of those years, like, it was really hard to be me, and it was really hard to see myself as anything positive. And, I was smart, but nobody thought that I was, or not a lot of people thought that I was. I, was very creative and had big dreams, but there were a lot of people who didn't encourage that. And a lot of, like, significant people, especially in school, didn't encourage that. So, like, my parents were always very encouraging of me and what I did and, like, what I wanted to do in my life. But, like, teachers weren't very encouraging. I had a lot of problems in high school with behavior, and so anyway, but when I got to college, it's like it was end of high school, beginning of college, like, I really started to realize that my weight was kind of hindering me from doing things. And not only, like, being outgoing and putting myself out there and letting people know that I had things that I wanted to do, but also, like, physically doing things, because I got really heavy. I was in the 400s. And so, like, I started working out and all of that stuff. And in college, I dropped a lot of weight. And then when I got home and graduated from college, I started doing Muay Thai. And I found my coach, Eric Haycraft, who still is in Louisville and has a gym there. And it changed my life. And, there was a lot around it and a lot of, like, misunderstanding, because Muay Thai is a pretty violent contact sport. Even though the environment I did it in was very safe, and I never fought in the ring or anything like that, it was protected and monitored and all of that. But, there are people on the outside who see what you do and have their judgments. And so that brought in a whole other thing for me when discussing body image, because not only was it like, you're overweight, but then, like, other things about me started to be questioned, and, like, my femininity and all of that kind of stuff. And so then that came to kind of a point for me. And it's still something I struggle with today, because I don't do kickboxing or Muay Thai as much anymore, because I've traveled a ton and lived in different places and just never was in one gym long enough, or one kickboxing gym long enough, to really be a part of that scene anymore. When I move back to Louisville, I totally plan on getting back with Eric and joining that gym again, just because of the family that I had there and the support. And because if it wasn't for, like, Eric and the friends that I had at that gym, I wouldn't be where I am today, or definitely wouldn't be as confident where I am today, because they helped a lot in that department, change how I've thought about myself, despite the circumstances that I was in. And now that I do a lot of powerlifting, and I joined, like, the CrossFit thing, and started like lifting heavier and stuff like that and getting muscle, um, there's a lot of discussion about like how does that change like how your body looks, and don't you want to be like feminine, and I guess that's still like a question I have, is like how do we define what's feminine and what's not feminine, and um, like when do we stop deciding what's a good shape and what's not a good shape? And when do we encourage health? And when do we encourage, confidence and happiness and enjoyment in your health journey over you have to look like this? And so that still bothers me. I've had people at the gym here who said, well, like, if you do this too much, like the CrossFit girls look a certain way. Like, what are you talking about? Like, am I not allowed to appear muscular? Am I not allowed to appear strong? And, the girls in the CrossFit Games, definitely, like, train a certain way and eat a certain way, and like those games are always something that they're working towards, and so like their body's going to be a little different than like mine would be, or somebody else would be who aren't trying to compete. But I would say that about any athlete, anybody who does, I'm trying to think of like another gym where, like, if you do like gymnastics type stuff, you're not going to look like a gymnast unless you train and eat that way. It's just how it is. You might get stronger, of course, and you're going to look different. Your body's going to change because different muscles have developed, but you're not going to look like a gymnast in the Olympics. If you enjoy swimming and swim a lot, you're not going to look like Michael Phelps unless you train and eat that way. So I don't know, there are issues and there are questions that I still have, and I think my biggest one is, when do we decide to let go of these ideas of this is distinctly feminine and this is distinctly masculine, and we encourage people to just continue this journey towards being healthy and happy? Is when people ask me, like, if they've ever, asked me about like health journeys and stuff like that, or like what do I do to start exercising or anything like that, like I always say, like, fix your food and find things that you enjoy doing. If you want to exercise, it has to be exercise that you look forward to, or you're not going to do it. You're not going to care. And it's going to be easy to dismiss the gym. So find something that you enjoy doing. Find something about it that you enjoy doing. And I enjoy kickboxing, and I enjoy powerlifting, and, I enjoy it, but I enjoy lots of things. So, you can figure it out and move along that way. But I'm looking forward to kind of like processing this out with you, because this is something that I've been thinking about especially a lot over the last year, and I want to have a lot more discussion about it. I want it to be more out in the open, more not a taboo topic, something that we can bring up and people don't get uncomfortable. So anyway, have a great day. Have a great week.